Lenses and optical instruments. Can you think what your eyes have in common with microscopes, telescopes, or cameras? Each of these things contain at least one lens. A lens is a transparent material with at least one curved surface that causes light rays to bend or refract as they pass through. Depending on the shape of the lens will depend on the image that the lens forms. Just like curved mirrors, a lens can be convex or concave. A convex lens, like the image on the right, is thicker in the middle than at the edges. The image formed by a convex lens depends on the positions of the lens and the object. When the object is more than 2 focal lengths away from the lens, its image is real, reduced, and upside down. Now, if the object is between 1 and 2 focal lengths from the lens, its image is real, enlarged, and upside down. But if the object is less than 1 focal length from the lens, its image is virtual, enlarged, and upright. Concave lenses, like the image shown on the left, are thinner in the middle and thicker at the edges. Light rays that pass through a concave lens bend outward away from the optical axis. The rays spread out and never meet a focal point, so they never form a real image. The images are always virtual, upright, and smaller than the actual object is. These lenses are used in some type of glasses and telescopes. Here, this table shows a summary of the images formed by concave and convex lenses. Your eye is an amazing organ, and its structures allow you to focus on objects that you see. How your eye works is that light enters your eye through a transparent covering on your eyeball called a cornea. The cornea causes light rays to bend so that they converge. The light passes through an opening called the pupil, and right behind the pupil is a flexible convex lens. The lens helps focus light rays so that a sharp image is formed on your retina, which is the inner lining of your eye. It has cells that convert the light image into electrical signals, which are then carried along the optic nerve to your brain to be interpreted. Optical instruments enable your eyes to see objects that otherwise would be too small or too far away to see. Telescopes use lenses or concave mirrors which allow your eye to gather more of the light from distant objects. Many telescopes are used here on Earth to look at images in space, but imagine being at the bottom of a swimming pool and trying to read a sign by the pool's edge. The water in the pool distorts your view of any objects. Well, the Earth's atmosphere does the same thing when scientists use telescopes to view objects in space. So to overcome the blurriness, NASA built a telescope called the Hubble Space Telescope that was placed into space on April 25th of 1990. The Hubble Space Telescope has produced images much sharper and more detailed than the largest telescopes here on Earth can. The Hubble telescope is a reflecting telescope that uses 2 mirrors to collect and focus light, with the primary mirror in the telescope measuring at 2.4 meters across. When the Hubble was first launched, a defect in this primary mirror caused the telescope to create blurry images, but once it was repaired by astronauts in December of 1993, the images that have come back from the Hubble telescope have been magnificent. Another optical instrument is a microscope. This uses 2 convex lenses to magnify small, close objects. You might have used a microscope in your life science or biology classes. A microscope, like a telescope, has an objective lens and an eyepiece lens. However, it is designed differently because the objects viewed are close to the lens. So when using a microscope, a convex lens is used and the final image can be hundreds of times larger than the actual object. Cameras are the most popular optical instrument, especially since they have made them so good on our smartphones and our devices. When you take a picture with a camera, a shutter opens to allow light to enter the camera for a specific length of time. The light reflected off your subject enters the camera through an opening called an aperture. Depending on what a photographer is going for, lenses can be used for different images, such as wide-angle lenses or even telephoto lenses. Okay, it's now time to show what you know.